let's head right to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Yeah, this is Jim from Southern Ohio. All you have to do is look at Caleb Williams. He was a number 1 draft pick. He sucked last year. And look at him now. If you give the kid a chance, he's going to be very good. And all the people have to do is give him a chance. Put some things around him and let him cook. That's all you got to do. Thank you.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Let's welcome in Garrett Bush from the Barbershop and the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I get the thought, Caleb Williams is a freakishly good. I've watched a lot of the Bears this year for whatever reason. Freakishly good athlete, really strong arm, but I get the point. A quarterback from year 1 to year 2 to year 3, if he's good, he develops.
Yeah, I think you go back and watch this. Like one of the games, I think it was a year or maybe a couple of years ago. Look at the numbers that Colorado and USC put up with Caleb Williams went with Shedeur Sanders. I think Caleb Williams threw for like 500 yards, and Shedeur Sanders had like 470-something odd yards, 5 touchdowns for Shedeur Sanders and 6 touchdowns or something crazy for Caleb Williams. Ironically, they play the game a lot alike. They hold on to the football. They like to extend plays. They like to be playmakers. They can make some throws. But I like what the caller's sentiment is. The sentiment is, look, there is going to be a decision to be made, right, about whether or not the Cleveland Browns need to go get a quarterback in the next year's draft in 2026. And these last 4 weeks, the evaluation process is going to be very heavy for Shedeur Sanders. And if I said before last week, I was interested in the Titans game, and I get Titans ain't really good and the Browns ain't no good. But what I want to see is we've heard Cam Ward was the best quarterback in that draft, and people were not high on the rest of the class in terms of Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, Shook, even Dylan Gabriel went in the 3rd round. But the head and shoulders emphasis and the head and shoulders top quarterback most people were saying was Cam Ward. And I said, I want to see him come out here in the game. Now, granted, the Browns defense is supposedly be better than the Titans, and the Browns defense kind of laid the egg, especially on the ground. But I said, let me see what Cam Ward looks like compared to Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders came out there, and he outperformed Cam Ward. Now, Cam Ward is the number 1 overall pick. He did have a couple of wild throws I think he made. But the thing I think gets people excited is when you look at the eye test between the 2 quarterbacks, there was no night and day difference between Shedeur Sanders and what Cam Ward was doing. And, his offense was not the Browns' offense is not a juggernaut. They're playing a bunch of young guys, offensive line. We talked about the receivers. But that's the exciting part, is if I can see the progression in Shedeur Sanders from week to week to week. It's been night and day. He's gotten better every single week, especially coming from the first week against the Baltimore Ravens, where he looked like the speed of the game was too fast. It looked like he was confused on some of the blitzes. To get to a point where you do throw for 3 touchdowns, run for another one, 364 yards, and you are the only quarterback this year to throw, a rookie quarterback to throw over 300 yards, people are going to be excited about it. They're going to be excited about what it looks like if you do go into the offseason and put some pieces around him, give him all the reps, and let him know he's the guy. What does 2026 look like? This is another challenge. You're going against Caleb Williams. He's the first number overall pick from the year prior. You get an opportunity to come in the game. I'm interested to see, not necessarily if he throws for more yards than Caleb Williams, but how does it look? Does he manage the game? Is he able to eliminate some of the turnovers? Can he go into the game and don't make the bad turnover that you did last week because you were trying to make a play? Do you eliminate that? And those are the things I'm looking to see. And sometimes you can make a statement without throwing for 300 yards. You can just show consistent progress.
Yeah, I'm with you. The other thing I would say is relative to next year's draft, if they're sitting there and there's a quarterback you really like at the spot, okay, I get it. You don't get a chance to take quarterbacks. But I'm not trading. I've already decided I'm not trading both number 1 picks. I'd bring in if Shedeur stumbles down the stretch, you bring in a veteran and you go back at it, because I think he's shown enough that you got to put some pieces around him. You have to get at least a tackle or a wide receiver, if not both, with in that first round next year.
That is malpractice. Let me. I think after that performance, like it was the Raiders game, the numbers didn't look, but you saw some throws against Raiders. Like, okay, but this game against the Titans, let me just be clear. I don't know if Ty Simpson or Moore or Mendoza has had a pretty good year, but I can't sit here and squint and act like I could just say that those guys are head and shoulders better than what I saw last week. And there's one thing that's more than anything is about the talent level. It's about what the Cleveland Browns have. There is no way that you can look at this offensive line that has been neglected for the last 2 or 3 years and look at the receiving core and say, oh, we're going to package up 2 high assets to go get another quarterback and then just put them behind. So they've already said Deshaun Watson's coming back. You'll actually have Dylan Gabriel, who's under contract, Shedeur Sanders. So you want to grab a rookie, get no extra pieces or parts, and you want to put them in the mix so you can have another quarterback competition in 2026 with no upgrade. No, I'm sorry. If you want a quarterback somewhere in the third or the fourth, and you feel like, oh, we like this guy's upside better than Dylan Gabriel, or we gonna take a flyer. But under no circumstances are the Browns in any position to be trading up no picks for no quarterback. I don't care nobody who, unless John Elway is in this draft. Because if it's the Colts will go back and get John Elway and put him on the field. I mean,
well,